Hello everybody, it's Jama Malmi. Thanks for joining me for this special Creative Design Team Christmas tag collaboration. We are going to have 8 videos for you over the next 4 days, so 2 a day, and let's just go ahead and dive into my tag. So this tag has traditionally been featured on other YouTube channels. It's been around for a while as a Christmas ornament, but I thought, wouldn't that be really pretty as a tag? And then you can hang it as a Christmas ornament. And I tend to do that with a lot of my tags because, you know, I like to go all out and create some really pretty tags, and then, hey, why throw them away when they would look really pretty on your tree? So I haven't made this into a tag yet. We still need to punch a hole and tie some ribbon on it, but this is the direction that we're going to be going today. It looks very impressive, but it's so easy. And so I'm going to walk you through step by step how to create this. So what I've got here are some 6x6 sheets of paper. We're going to be creating just one today, but I wanted to show you a few other papers that I picked out. These are all two-sided. You're going to want two-sided for this, and you're going to want the front and back to obviously coordinate with each other. They probably do anyway if they're from the same pack, but you might want to make sure that they are contrasting, because sometimes you might have a red pattern on the front and a red pattern on the back or something like that. But it makes it look really fun when it does contrast, because you're going to see the other side through on both sides. So you'll want to cut those down to 6x6. This is a really great project for all those scraps that you have. I've also got some stitched circles, because this is what I've put on the back of my card to stamp to, and this one says love. There are so many stamps out there that have to or from on them. This is the one that I'm using. It's called No Peekin', and it is retired, but if you do have it in your stash, there are a few options on here. If you don't have a stamp set with to or from, just use a small alphabet set. That will work just perfectly. Or dig through your stash and see if you do have something. And hey, you don't even need it to say to and from. You can write it yourself when you write the names of who it's to and from. I also have some snowflakes that I've cut out. This is the beautiful pearl paper. It's hard to appreciate that on camera, but it's got a very nice pearl finish. I've also cut some out of glitter paper, and I had some foil paper, and I used various dies and punches for these. I really love these dies. This is called Winter Flurries. These are still available in my shop. And then I also used this Martha Stewart snowflake punch that I've had forever. This is just one of those really great workhorses that when you have little scraps left of your glitter paper or foil paper that aren't really good for much, just pop some snowflakes out of them. And that's what I did with these. I used basically just scraps of paper and get the most out of your specialty paper that way. So we'll be using some of those, and I did use one on this side. I know red is kind of non-traditional for a snowflake, but it looks really cute, don't you think? So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start with this holly and ivy paper. I'm going to get my trimmer out, and I'm just going to cut this into 1/2-inch strips. So with a 6-inch sheet, you're going to get 12 1/2-inch strips, and you're going to have them 6 by 1/2 inch, and you're going to need all 12 for this ornament. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so I've got all 12 strips, and you want to cut them with the side you want facing out up. So this is going to be my back, and this is going to be my main focal right here, and then the red stripes is what you're going to see poking through. So I'm going to separate them. We're going to need them 6 and 6. Now, I like to work on my Versamat. You don't have to have a Versamat, but this helps me line things up. So one thing you could do, you're going to start with 2 pieces of paper, and you're going to make them a plus sign. And to make sure that you're right in the middle of the paper, you can fold it in half, fold each of these 2 in half, and make sure that you glue them at the intersect. But the other thing you can do is, since you know that it's going to be that the pieces are 6 inches, you can line it up right in the middle at the 3 inches, so you're edge is at the 2 3/4 and 3 1/4. And then same here. And then you know that they intersect and you don't have to do all the folds. So it just depends on your preference. Okay, so you're going to take your liquid glue. Mine is oozing out because of the altitude here in Colorado. But you're going to put a dab and then line it up. And if you're using the folds, you just need to line up the folds or line them up here. Okay, I'm going to switch glues because this one doesn't ooze out with a fine tip. Okay, so now you're going to take your next one, and since I've got this one underneath, I want this next one to be on top. Now you may need to watch this video 2 or 3 times, follow along when you actually go to create this. But once you do it once on your own, it's quite easy. You'll really get the hang of it. So I like to line it up again on my squares, line it up here, and press it down. So we are just going to go ahead. I like to do a square of glue because I really don't want it to move, and I like the edges to be down tight, so I like to do more than just a little dot of glue, but a dot of glue would probably be okay. All right, so just hold that in place, and then now what we're going to do is turn this, and this is where the weaving comes in, but we're only doing 2 pieces of weaving. This is really easy. Okay, so this top one, your pieces on the top, so we want to go like this so it alternates. So you've got this one on top, this one's below, this one's on top here, this one's below, this one's below, this one's on top. That makes sense? So I'm going to just push it in there. And then I'm going to take my glue I'm holding the strip in place as I do this. If you're not lined up absolutely perfectly, it's okay. This is very forgiving. In the final product, you won't notice, especially if you're going to be covering it up. All right, so now since I'm right-handed, I like to flip it over and then do this. So this is the one, I know this needs to go up and this is going to be on top because it's below over here. So I'm just going to pop that up, slide this in, and it's as easy as that. So that's all you're doing, is you're weaving these paper strips. And this is as many as we're going to do. We're going to do this one more time, but all you need are the 3 pieces on each side to make this plus side sign. So this is all we need for each side. Okay, so we're going to do that again, and I'm going to speed this up for you. I thought I would take this time to let you know some exciting news. Janice Gilhooly has joined the creative design team permanently. You may remember her as a guest designer back in our September back to school collab, and she also joined us in our 31 Days of Christmas Cards event in October, which I will talk about more in a little bit if you still wanted to join that. But we're really excited to have her. She really adds a lot to the team. Okay, so now we've got our 2 pieces finished. We're going to want to hold them at as an X at this point, and whichever side you want facing out, you're going to turn that on the bottom. Okay, so I like to curl my outside pieces. We're going to be working with these outside pieces all the way around. We're not going to touch these middle pieces at all. So I'm going to do this just to help me with this part, and we're going to take these and just curl them and point them up like that to create the point of the snowflake. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little glue here. Again, I've got like a square of glue, not just a dot, because I want to make sure I'm up to the edges and the corners. And I'm going to just hold that in place for a moment while the glue sets and dries enough to move on. I like to have a strong liquid glue for this. It works better than a tape runner, and but you want it to be able to dry fast. So I'm going to do that for the next part. I'll go ahead and put my glue on because I already know what I'm doing here, and we'll flip it around and hold it in place. This does go quite quickly once you get going, and once you've done it a couple of times, it really gets going fast. And once you do both of these, once you've done one full snowflake, I really think that it goes pretty quickly. So same thing, we're going to do this all the way around. But like I said, you might want to watch this again when you are actually sitting down to create this. That's what I had to do when I was making these, but after making one, I really felt like I was a pro. But then once you make one, you can't stop. These are really, really fun, and you can mix and match papers. You don't have to use all the same paper on one snowflake. You can mix and match. You can use just scraps that you have left over to create these. Okay, so once you're done with these, you already feel like a pro. You can do this a million times, and it gets really, really fun every time. It's kind of one of those things that's addictive to do. You could do a ton of them. But this is what it looks like. And now what you're going to do is you're going to take these and you're going to sandwich them together. So you've got whatever side you chose is going to be your outside. You've got that on the outside of each, and your little points are going to nestle in between each other like this. So doesn't it look so cool with the stripes on the inside? Now, here we're going to just weave these extra little tails underneath. So let's do all the top ones first. We're just going to weave those in. Don't worry about the bit hanging off. We're going to fix that. Now that you've done all four sides, you're going to turn it over and do it again on the other side. Now with each of these little points, what you're going to do is glue it to the point that's under it. So we're going to just add another dab of glue, hold it down for a moment, and then you work your way around. So I'm just pulling this up, putting some glue on here where it's going to land. And then putting it down. Now you can see I'm a little crooked here. I'm not exactly center. That's okay. It's not going to matter in the end, except that I have a little of extra glue there. Okay, once we're done with that, it's as easy as just trimming these little tails off. So I like to do it on the side where you can see the top. So you're doing it on the part where the outside is showing. And then just cut along those lines. So you've got that perfect snowflake point. And we'll just do this all the way around again. Okay, so now you can see where that weave comes in. You can see that cool look. This looks so awesome just like this. You can just put a hole in it, hang it like this, and it looks gorgeous, and this will decorate your tree beautifully, and you can use it as just an ornament. We're going to take it a step further and make it into a tag. So I like to do the stamping first because obviously that's going to do better when it's flat. So I'm going to take my little to and from, and I think I'm going to stamp it in candy apple. So what I did before I put these on my block is I lined them up where I wanted them on my circle, and then I put my block down on them and picked them up. So I'm going to tap this off on a scrap paper first, and then come in. I'm going to do it down a little bit because I want to add a little bit of a decoration up here. On this one, I added just a little bow, and that is from this acrylic pack, Deck the Palms acrylic pack. And I think I might do the same thing because that was really cute. Okay. And you can use glue with this. I like to use this Barely Art glue with the really fine tip, and it still kind of oozes out a little bit. So right now I'm not even squeezing, I'm just spreading. And then I'll put it down on here and give that a moment to dry. And on the other side, let's see, I did snowflakes on the other one, but I might do a poinsettia on this one. So I've got, maybe I'll do this glitter paper. I've got this, these poinsettias that I cut from my Cricut and that I had lying on my desk already. So you can use what you have lying on your desk from creating other, you know, Christmas cards and stuff this season. Whatever you might have. I think that looks cute. And then I'm just trying to decide if I want the green behind it, because it's not going to pop too much off the green background. No, it does. I think that's cute. Okay, so I'm going to do that. This is Scarlet, by the way. So I'll do the Scarlet, or this is Evergreen. I'll do the Evergreen background. And then the Scarlet glitter paper. I think this is cut with a die cut. And this is Cricut. So you have both options. The die cuts are still available. Maybe I'll do a snowflake on the top. Would that look cute? Oh, I do like that. Poinsettia with a snowflake. I mean, these are so fun because you can just really play with them and see what you like and just layer things up. And you know, they don't have to make sense. You don't have to put, maybe I'll do that. That looks cute. You don't have to, you can put snowflakes on poinsettias. And if you're in Australia and it's summer, leave out the snowflakes. You can just do the poinsettias. So this is taking just a minute longer to dry on the glitter paper. So if you are using glitter paper, just give it a little bit of extra time. And then we'll do this. You could also use foam tape or foam squares or 3D foam, whatever you have. That would also be a really good option here. Looks so pretty. Okay, and then we're going to turn it over. You can decide which way you want the top to be. It doesn't really matter. I think I like it like that. So we'll turn it over and put our glue on the back of here. Make sure you get plenty of glue on there because this isn't an even surface. So you want to be sure that it catches. And we'll just hold that for a moment while it dries. Now the next step is to punch your hole, and I've got my handy dandy crocodile. Who has one of these still? Doesn't this thing look archaic? But you know, it's so handy. I still use it, especially at Christmas time with tags. Let's see, we're gonna have to do this way. I'm using a smaller hole because I don't need it too big. And you want to get it as centered as possible. Make sure you're doing it at the top of the to and from. And it's nice and sturdy already where you've got the hole because you've got that glue there. And then we're going to go ahead and tie our ribbon or twine on there. I really like the look of this natural twine, so I'm going to go ahead and use that for, I think that looks good with this one. How you tie it on is up to you. You can put them both through and do this way, where you then put it through itself. That's what I like to do, and then you have these ends to be able to tie it to your package. So here's a close-up of what we made today with the poinsettia and the cute little bow on the back, and then the one that I had already made. They're very similar and it's fun to mix and match what you decorate them with. And then I wanted to show you one other one that I made, this cute flamingo one. This uses the Deck the Halls paper that I showed you earlier. And then this stamp set is super cute. Look at this. It's got the flamingo with the Santa hat, which is what I use, and some presents, an ornament, and some Christmas tropical themed things. And there are also matching dies for them. And then if you like the flamingo and everything but don't want it Christmas themed, there's also this one, Deck the Palms Tropical, and these are available through the end of December. It's part of the Deck the Palms special, along with this paper and some stickers and all that. So I added some stickles onto his little Santa hat and onto some of the presents, and I colored the presents with the Triblend markers. I hope you enjoyed my project today, and be sure to check out Carrie's project, which is also posting today. I'll have that linked in the description below, and the rest of the design team will be posting 2 videos per day over the holiday weekend. I also want to remind you that our 31 Days of Christmas Cards replay event is available only until the end of November, so just a few more days. There's a video for every single day in October, so 31 videos and a PDF guide to help you complete each card. It's an amazing value. I will have that linked in the description below as well. Thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day.